On October 19th, 1970, a chilling encounter near Fairfax County, Virginia, would spark one of the most
Whoa, Mere Frost, I come and describe Jesus as King. This is some type of murder mystery bunny stuff. Let's get this going.
enduring legends in American history. Air Force Academy cadet Robert Bennett and his fiancée found themselves face to face with a figure that defied explanation. A man in a white suit adorned with long bunny ears, wielding a hatchet. This bizarre incident marked the beginning of the Bunny Man legend, a tale that would grip the community with fear and fascinations for decades to come. As we unravel the events of that fateful autumn, we'll explore how a series of strange sightings transformed into a cultural phenomenon that continues to intrigue and perplex investigators to this day. Crime, conspiracy, cults, serial killers, and murder, all things that I love to consume, and I know you do too, you sick, twisted, little beautiful-minded little freak. And today we're getting into something really weird, and I'm excited, because I actually haven't heard much about the Bunny Man, and I don't know if you have, but we're going to get into it today, and you take it seriously. It sounds a little ridiculous, but it's not. Okay, stay with me. And I myself have always been scared of the Easter Bunny, or just large anthropomorphic looking animal, human being hybrid things anyway. So this one terrified me a little extra, so I'm excited to get into it. So let's get into it.
Let's go, yo. Let's dive in. She extra. I'm about to be reacting her stuff more often.
So like I said, it all started on October 19th, 1970 on Guinea Road in Fairfax County, Virginia, USA. An Air Force Academy cadet, Robert Bennett, and his fiancée had parked their car in a field, intending to visit relatives in the area. And as they sat in the vehicle with the engine running, their attention was suddenly drawn to movement outside their rear window. And what would transpire next would become one of the first documented encounters with a figure that would soon captivate the public's imagination and instill fear in the local community. Without warning, the front passenger window of Bennett's car would shatter, sending glass fragments cascading into the vehicle's interior. And a figure clad in white clothing materialized beside the car, brandished a wooden-handled hatchet. And the assailants, clearly agitated, shouted accusations at the couple, claiming they were trespassing on private property. And in a display of very bizarre behavior, the figure also declared that he had recorded their license plate number, implying potential further consequences for their alleged transgression. And understandably shaken by the sudden and violent intrusion, Bennett wasted no time and fled the scene. So he quickly engaged the car's transmission and sped away from this mysterious attacker, leaving the field and the threatening figure behind him. And it was only after they had put some distance between themselves that the incident that Bennett made a chilling discovery. He saw the hatchet that was used to break his own window was actually in his car, which was a tangible reminder of the danger that he had narrowly escaped. And in the aftermath after the attack, Bennett and his fiancée reported the incident to local law enforcement. And during questioning, Bennett provided a description of the assailant that would soon become the subject of intense scrutiny and debate, because he insisted that the attacker was wearing a white suit, but most notably, he claimed the figure had sported long bunny ears. And this unusual detail would later contribute to the moniker that would be applied to this mysterious assailant. And Bennett's fiancée offered a conflicting account of the attacker's headwear, disputing the presence of bunny ears and instead describing a white, crown-like headpiece, which also, what? But the discrepancy highlighted the confusion and fear surrounding the encounter, making it very difficult for investigators to establish a clear narrative. But despite the darkness, both witnesses claimed they could clearly see the attacker's face. However, neither Bennett nor his fiancée could definitively identify the assailant's race, because it was dark so fair enough. But this inability to recognize such a basic detail, despite a clear view, underscores how fear and confusion can distort perception and memory, which is very, very true. It's extremely hard to identify someone when you're going through that amount of fear and adrenaline. I know I would have trouble. I can't even remember what shirt Caleb put on today. That's terrible. It's action. What does he even look like? On October 22nd, 1970, just days after the attack, the Washington Post published an article titled "Man in Bodysuit Sought in Fairfax." Crazy headline. This piece detailed the assault and specifically mentioned the hatchet that had been thrown at the car window and landed inside the car, bringing the very bizarre encounter to the attention of a wider audience and the setting stage for a growing legend of the Bunny Man. It's like the clowns all over again. No. And law enforcement took the report seriously, aware of the danger posed by someone willing to act so violently. So they examined the hatchet that was left by the assailant, hoping it would provide clues to identify and catch the perpetrator. However, despite the hatchet and the detailed, though somewhat conflicting, eyewitness accounts from Bennett and his fiancée, the investigation faced obstacles. With no additional evidence and leads running dry, the case would be eventually marked as inactive due to the lack of proof for prosecution. And in the end, the hatchet was actually returned to Bennett, a grim reminder of his encounter with his unknown attacker, which is kind of weird. That's evidence. That's evidence. Why are we giving it back? Back to the guy. It wasn't his hatchet. I don't understand that at all. But what do I know? But as the investigation into the initial Bunny Man sightings began to lose momentum, a second encounter would reignite public concern and challenge the authorities' understandings of the case. On October 29th, 1970, just 10 days after the incident involving Robert Bennett and his fiancée, the Bunny Man made another appearance. A mere block away from the site of the first sighting on Guinea Road. Paul Phillips, a construction security guard, found himself face to face with an individual whose appearance bore an uncanny resemblance to the description that Bennett gave to authorities. Phillips reported encountering a man on a porch of an unfinished home, wearing a very distinctive gray, black, and white bunny costume. I need to know more. And the guard estimated the figure to be a white male, approximately 20 years old, standing at around 5'8", and weighing about 160 pounds. And the costumed individual, the Bunny Man, was actively engaged in chopping at a porch post with a long-handled axe. This guy loves axes and hatchets. An action that echoed the weapon described in the earlier incident. And the situation quickly escalated when the figure addressed Phillips directly, issuing a very chilling threat. This just sounds like just a slapstick horror film that I wouldn't want to be in. Like, just terrifying. But according to Phillips' account, the man warned all you people trespass. Wait, I do a bunny voice. It's a bunny voice.
Meh. All you people trespass around here. If you don't get out of here, I'm gonna bust you on the head.
Sorry, the Bugs Bunny thing was right there. So Phillips, terrified, retreated to his vehicle immediately, intending to retrieve his handgun for self-defense. However, upon his return, the Bunny Man had vanished into the nearby woods. You know, like bunnies do, leaving behind only questions and heightened sense of unease in the community. So the Fairfax County Police Department's investigation report confirmed the basic elements of the October 29th incident. Officers responded to a call about a subject dressed as a rabbit with an axe. To get two of those is crazy. But upon arrival at the scene, multiple units searched the area, but they found no physical evidence that the Bunny Man was ever present. And units 307, 195, 363, 422, 266, and 378 were all of the responding officers, with nothing to show for their efforts, leaving a large bunny at large. Like it actually said, large white rabbit at large. Crazy. And the lack of tangible proof mirrored the challenges faced in the investigation of the Bennett incident, further complicating efforts to identify or apprehend this individual. And the proximity of the two sightings, both in terms of location and timing, suggested a pattern of behavior that was impossible to ignore. And the Kings Park West encounter occurred just 1 block away from the Guinea Road site, indicating that the Bunny Man, whoever that might be, was operating in a specific geographical area. And this realization just intensified the public's concern and led to increased security measures in the vicinity. So as news as the second sighting spread, the community's fear and fascination with the Bunny Man phenomenon just intensified. And the incident would just capture the public's imagination, sparking widespread speculation and concern. Local residents found themselves grappling with the unsettling possibility that a potentially dangerous individual was at large in the neighborhood, a potentially large bunny at large, if you will. An individual who who was disguised in a costume that seemed more suited as a children's party than a crime scene. So in the aftermath of the two confirmed Bunnyman encounters, a wave of panic swept through Fairfax County, Virginia. And the local community, already on edge from the initial incidents, found itself grappling with a phenomenon that defied easy explanation. And as Halloween approached, oh god, the atmosphere of fear intensified, leading to significant disruptions in daily life. This literally reads like a cheesy horror movie. I can't. So the Fairfax County Police Department faced unprecedented challenge as reports of the Bunnyman sightings flooded into their offices. And in the weeks following the Bennett and Phillips incidents, over 50 individuals contacted law enforcement claiming to have seen the mysterious figure. And these reports varied widely in their details, with some accounts veering into the realm of fantastical. Some people just wanted to, One report came from a guard who was watching a housing development that was under construction. And while on patrol, the guard claimed to see a man in a white bunny suit hacking down a porch post with a hatchet, very similar to Phillips. And walking closer to the bunny, he said, "You are trespassing." I gotta do my bunny voice.
Meh, yeah, trespassing. If you come any closer, I'll chop your head.
Similar thing he said to Phillips. And after this interaction, the man in the suit hopped into the woods. I'm trying to imagine in my head if I would laugh or if I would be terrified. I think I'd be terrified. But then, really good story if you go home and you're just like, guess what I saw? And local newspapers, including the Washington Post, played a key role in fueling public interest and concern. They're fueling the fire, if you will, with frequent articles detailing the sightings that kept the community informed, but also heightened fear and uncertainty. Meanwhile, law enforcement faced significant challenges in investigating the Bunnyman sightings. Officers would struggle to verify the growing number of reports and separate fact from fiction, all while lacking any physical evidence beyond the hatchet from the first incident. And as sightings increased, the case grew more and more complex, stretching the resources of the Fairfax County Police Department. Can you imagine putting all of your man hours into finding a giant bunny with an axe? But the impact of the Bunnyman phenomenon on the local community was a profound and far-reaching. And as Halloween approached, I just can't get over how this sounds like a freaking horror movie. Parents in Fairfax County expressed heightened concern for their children's safety. Don't let them trick or treat. Just don't let them Go to your local Walmart, get some candy, bring it home. Stay inside your house. Why would you risk that? There is a large bunny man with a hatchet hopping around your neighborhood. And the typically festive holiday season took on a sinister tone. Fair enough. With families grappling with the decision of whether to allow their children to participate in traditional activities. Don't! The psychological toll on the community became increasingly evident as the days passed. I mean, if I was a parent, I would move. I would just drive somewhere else at this point. Another headline. Doctors say Bunnyman's mind is hopping. The press is just having a field day with this guy. But the Bunnyman scare had a very noticeable impact on local schools, with a rise in absenteeism as worried families kept their children home. Yes. Because all those kids were walking to school uphill in snow and back to their home uphill in snow because it was 1970 when all of our parents did that. And this understandable precaution disrupted the educational process and highlighted how deeply the phenomenon had affected daily life in Fairfax. And despite dedicated law efforts, law enforcement struggled to make progress. And the Fairfax County Police Department invested significant resources into finding suspects matching the Bunnyman's description. But the figure's elusive nature and the lack of consistent physical evidence just proved to be extremely challenging. And I love this in an article. It says, within days, school children like 11-year-old Jim Waters, which sounds like a 50-year-old man who has 2 ex-wives, were petrified to bike to school. Jim Waters, the 11-year-old, said,
The story went from a guy in a white bunny suit with an axe who vandalized a couple of times to an axe murderer at the end of Guinea Road, he says. As an 11-year-old, I couldn't give it any perspective.
Are you Are you telling me an 11-year-old said those words? William L. Johnson, an investigator with the Fairfax County Police Department, summarized the challenges faced by law enforcement in a report. And he noted, quote unquote,
After an extensive investigation, it remained substantiated whether there is real whack rabbit, as most sightings were reported by children and lacked credible evidence.
And this statement encapsulated the frustration experienced by investigators as they attempted to unravel the mystery of the Bunnyman. And the psychological impact on the community extended beyond the immediate fear of encountering the Bunnyman. Children expressed reluctance to engage in everyday activities, such as biking to school, while parents voiced ongoing concerns about safety. And these reactions just reflected a broader societal anxiety generated by the Bunnyman legend, highlighting the power of fear to reshape communities' dynamics and individual behaviors. And urban legends, as we know, need a home. A physical place that can ground the myth into something tangible. Without a location, a ghost story is just words. And without a setting, a urban legend fades away. And that's how the legend of the Bunnyman found its way to Fairfax Station's Colchester Overpass, better known as the Bunnyman Bridge, which I now really want to go to. If this video gets to 200,000 likes, I will go to the Bunnyman Bridge and summon the Bunnyman. Yes, I will. But here's the thing. Nothing in the 1970s Bunnyman sightings has anything to do with this particular bridge. The original reports were about a bunny in a suit terrorizing people with an axe. Casual Tuesday. But Colchester Overpass, that was never mentioned. If you were listening. Are you listening? So how did it become the landmark of the legend? Like all good urban myths, the bridge was chosen for one simple reason. It looks haunted, basically. A single-lane, century-old railway tunnel in the woods? That's the perfect backdrop for a horror story, is it not? And by the 1980s and 1990s, local teens had already connected the Erie Bridge to the Bunnyman tale, twisting the story into something new. And suddenly, the Bunnyman wasn't just some deranged guy in a costume. He was a vengeful spirit, the ghost of an escaped mental patient or a supernatural entity that only appeared on Halloween night. And the story says, at the stroke of midnight on Halloween, a killer in a white rabbit suit awaits. Lore has it if you speak his name 3 times, he'll appear. Bunnyman, Bunnyman, Bunnyman. But don't expect to survive. He'll slash your throat and leave your body dangling from the bridge. Don't have to ask me twice. This is where superstition comes into play. Legends thrive in places that feel cursed. And Colchester Overpass had all the right ingredients. It was remote, isolated, and shrouded in the shadow of night. And local kids started daring each other to visit after dark. Some shit I would do as a teenager. Some shit I do now. Some swore they heard whispers in the tunnel, and others claimed to see figures in trees. And the Bunnyman went from a bizarre news story to a full-fledged ghost story, feeding off the natural fear of the unknown. And that is the true, real power of folklore. The truth. It's messy, fragmented, and easily lost, but the legend sticks. And as long as the Bunnyman Bridge stands, so will the superstition that keeps his story alive. It's almost like a placebo effect, but for hauntings. It's like Bigfoot or like Mothman. I don't know, but what's cool? Not what's cool. What's interesting is that the Bunnyman was actually real. There was a guy in a bunny suit with a fucking axe terrorizing people in Fairfax County, Virginia. We don't even know how many times. Or if he did anything really bad. I mean, as far as we know, he was just a shit-talking tall rabbit who liked to vandalize empty properties, I guess. Not that scary if you think about it, but still a little scary. But as for the real Bunnyman sightings, despite extensive investigations, the true identity and motivations of the Bunnyman remain a mystery. And recent studies suggest the perpetrator may have been a local resident disturbed by the rapid suburban development transforming Fairfax County in the 1970s. Which makes sense. I mean, this guy's just saying he's gonna chop the heads off of people that are moving in and that people are trespassing on private private property that isn't private property. It's kind of a good tactic. I mean, he literally made all these people like not want to leave their houses and maybe even move because he was terrorizing this county. I just imagine this guy as like an old 80-year-old man. He's just like,
What if I dress up in a bunny suit with an axe and chop wood and yell at people? That will work just nicely.
but the case in and of itself highlights the challenges law enforcement face when confronted with incidents that capture public's imagination and generate widespread speculation. But the Bunnyman case remains officially closed due to the lack of evidence, and modern forensic techniques have not been applied. However, the enduring intrigue surrounding these events have sparked ongoing discussions and investigations by local historians and enthusiasts. The legacy of the Bunnyman continues to influence local culture, particularly on Halloween, demonstrating the lasting impact of unresolved mysteries on community folklore. So the real question is, should I or should I not go to Fairfax, Virginia, get into a bunny costume, and do a full-on ghost investigation in the middle of the night, potentially on Halloween, but probably sooner, to see if the Bunnyman or any other entities are really haunting that forest? Let me know down in the comments below if you want to see that. But until then, I will see your beautiful face in the next video. I hope you enjoyed this type of video. I know it's a little bit different than my other true crime ones. It's a conspiracy one. It's a fun entity conspiracy one. I like these kinds of things. They're fun. It's very interesting. The whole, public panic, how everything can amount to such just widespread hysteria. It's just wild. It's all very interesting. And I mean, I really want to talk to this guy. I mean, it was in the 1970s. If he actually was in his 20s, he's around. So hey, Bunnyman, if you're out there, I would love to interview you. I will meet you under the bridge on Halloween night, 2025. I will also be in a bunny costume. I'm scared now. Wait, I'm scared now. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. All right.
All right, y'all, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Mir Frost. Just an urban legend. So y'all tell me if y'all like it. Jesus King, pray, repent before it's too late. Peace.